Is it possible to have too much cash? Let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Millstone River Live, a podcast brought to you by Millstone River Wealth Management. So, Adam, we have a unique topic today. I think it's a departure from our norm. We're talking about the risks of excess cash.
Exactly.
Are you ready?
Let's give it a shot.
So we know that in the aftermath of the bear market of 2022, which followed the bear market of 2020, which is all sort of pandemic related, investors have been taking advantage of this anomaly that we haven't seen in more than 15 years, and that is high interest rates. We saw money market funds industry-wide to greater than $6 trillion. Hasn't been that level in a really long time. And the reason for that is very simple. You could earn about 5% interest on that money. And investors found that cash became a great place to park their savings, to avoid market downturns, and to kind of just sort of wait out and see what's going to happen in the investment markets. These competitive yields we haven't seen in over 15 years, and I think investors got excited to take advantage. But it also gives people a false sense of security because there is no such thing as a no-risk investment, right? Cash is often the best option for things like near-term spending needs. But before declaring cash is king, which I know everyone likes to say, holding too much cash beyond your emergency fund and beyond your near-term needs comes with risks.
So I'll jump in with the first one, which is inflation risk. You know, the objective for investments over the long term should be to generate returns above inflation. We want you to be rewarded for delaying consumption, increasing your purchasing power. However, over the long term, and here we're defining that between 1928 and 2023, cash has barely kept up with rising prices. On the other hand, stocks and bonds have historically delivered annual returns that have exceeded the rate of inflation. So in other words, overly relying on cash alone could be the equivalent of getting on an investment treadmill and not really going anywhere.
Maybe a false sense of security.
Matt, what's the other major concern?
So we should talk here about reinvestment risk. And this is a risk specific to cash. It happens when interest rates begin their decline. And we know that that's coming. But maturing investments get reinvested at a lower rate. That is the risk. So that is reinvestment risk. In today's investment landscape, and as we record this in the second quarter of 2024, we believe that the Federal Reserve is likely done with their interest rate increases. Of course, we never know for sure until they make their announcements, but I think it's widely expected that the next move for interest rates would be a rate cut, perhaps as early as later this year. So cash-like holdings may see very little additional upside from here. And looking at the last 4 interest rate hiking cycles, which happened between 1995 and 2018, when the Fed was done raising interest rates, long-term returns for both stocks and bonds far outpaced cash, within the first year contributing the most of that outpaced return.
So, if you do feel potentially you have, excess cash, how do you put it to work? In uncertain times, it's understandable for investors to want to hold on to excess cash. However, investors should be aware that holding excess cash isn't going to build wealth over time. It comes with a lost opportunity cost, and it's unlikely to beat inflation over the long term. So investors who are ready to put excess cash to work, but waiting for the perfect time to get invested, could find the task daunting and may become stuck with indecisiveness. In reality, there is no perfect time to invest. Instead, maybe consider dollar cost averaging. This allows investors to take market timing out of the equation and take some of that excess cash and steadily over a regular period of time, invest it.
That sounds good. So this is a shorter episode today, but I think, in summary, I would say the following. Investors were looking for safety. They found it in cash following the last bear market, and it drove the cash position around the world to record levels. Investors that were holding excess cash have already begun missing opportunities in the 2023 market and could potentially miss future opportunities as we progress through 2024 and beyond. And as you just mentioned, dollar cost averaging is potentially a good way of moving cash into the market, maybe in bite-sized amounts and at a regular pace. Although we hope that this information has been helpful, we want to stress this is not personalized in any way, and by no means would I consider anything we've just said to be financial advice. Thanks for joining us. We hope you found this episode of Millstone River Live to be helpful and encourage you to join us for the next one day soon. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Millstone River Live. Feel free to share it with someone you think might benefit. Millstone River Wealth Management is an independent wealth management firm based in New Jersey. We form a supportive partnership with our clients and help with financial education and planning. We welcome your feedback. Send comments or questions to podcast@millstone-river.com. More information about our firm can be found online at millstone-river.com. Thanks for listening.